From jiggling melons to terrifying monsters, Miko has a terrifying ability that allows her to see ghosts. Along with her busty bride Hana, they go through life trying to understand the secrets of magic and witchcraft. Miko is woken up by her alarm and checks on the neighbor's dog before getting ready to school. She bids her family goodbye and heads to school, where she is greeted by Missy Double D's, also known as Mommy Milker's Hana. She gives Miko an attitude and compliments her. However, they were interrupted by Yuria, a shorty who doesn't know how to communicate. Class was underway and Miko seemed distracted until the teacher called upon her to read. Her voice was charming, but her appetite wasn't as open as Hungry Hana. While they were talking, Miko sensed something strange around her, while Hana was acting childish all of a sudden. In the women's bathroom, Miko tried contemplating her life decisions, but failed to get any answers, and left the school with the new Miss America. Hana's excitement was as contagious as those jiggling beauties. Miko, on the other hand, felt lost. She went back to school looking for her keychain and didn't seem the least bit afraid. As she bent down to grab her keychain, she heard weird sounds coming and ran back home in the rain. She was drenched and sent a picture to her bestie. However, her phone glitched and her picture kept on appearing in a nightmarish cycle. She threw it on the ground and panicked. Upon picking it up, she saw the most horrendous-looking ghost staring at her and decided to ignore it. The ghost got fed up and left her alone. Even so, the trauma was real, and Miko felt even more depressed. Things grew worse when she saw another ghost in her bathroom. What is with these ghosts and their addiction to attention? Miko left and bent down once again looking for some salt. Where did she learn this voodoo trick from? She searched for some prayer beads to exorcise the ghosts. However, another snuck up under her blanket, looking for some more milk. The next day, Miko was certain it was all a dream and went about her day as normal. As soon as Hana laid her hands on her, she was struck to the core and freaked out. Just then, she saw a ghost from outside of the window, and it phased through, trying to intimidate her. She stood there paralyzed, while Hana didn't quite understand what was going on. After all, who would believe her if she said ghosts exist? The ghost gave up and left them be, while Miss All Sunday looking adorable as ever. They then went to a boy's favorite room, the locker room. Everyone looked quite gifted, and Hana for one was bestowed with divine blessings. Miko looked fine and chill and could totally be my type. As she opened the locker, she saw a severed head looking down on her, while Hana kept ranting as clueless as ever. She asked her to get her phone, and as she stretched her hand, the ghost screamed from the top of its skull, trying to get her attention. Miko fell to the ground in exhaustion, and afterward, Busty Babe from the Bronx politely asked her for spare underwear. Who knew all her brains went down to her bosoms? Miko refused to go back to the locker room, and Hana decided to rock commando, as should every woman in my opinion. Another pervy ghost showed up and wrapped himself around Hana like a python. This ghost must be super horny. Miko tried running away in hopes of rescuing her voluptuous friend from being groped and featured in a Hub episode. After going to the nurse's room, Miko felt disgusted by the ghost and tried to look for ways to get rid of it. She immediately saw a sanitizer and tried spraying it all over her delicious donuts. Wet cake, I wouldn't mind. Neither did the ghost, who seemed turned on by the whole incident. As Hana tried approaching her, the ghost was drawing closer than ever. What is this? 2 girls and 1 ghost? The nurse interrupted the threesome, and the ghost quickly latched onto her melons. As they went out, Miko felt a sigh of relief, and later, they went to a store looking for a sale, and decided to get in line. However, Miko stood behind the ghosts who were ready to attend Michael Jackson's concert. After all was said and done, Hana kept bragging about her big titties when they encountered a kitty, guarded by another ghost. They posted an ad online, and a creepy dude came by looking to adopt her. Another charming guy came. However, this guy was the spawn of Satan himself. Talk about a demonic presence. They ended up giving the kitty to the creep. The next day, Miko left the house feeling flustered and anxious. It seems she was worried about missing the bus. During her ride, she kept on hearing strange noises around her. She couldn't tell where they were coming from until suddenly, a couple of talkative ghosts popped out trying to get her attention. As usual, they were ghosted and felt like a spoiled little brat who wasn't given any candy on Halloween. As soon as they left, Miko started acting strangely. Later that day, she sat down in a cafe and saw a female ghost trying to flirt with a young chap. Are all the ghosts weirdly horny? To make matters worse, this one was super jealous and thought Miko was stealing her boyfriend. Fortunately, she left her alone when Hana walked in, and soon enough the guy's girlfriend showed up with a bunch of demons as well. These two were a match made in hell. After getting a few prayer beads, Miko was feeling much more confident than usual. She gave a couple to Hana to boost her spiritual defense, and upon walking in a dark alley, she saw the ghosts avoiding the prayer beads. It seems that they hated spiritual energy, but soon enough, a scary-looking ghost destroyed her beads in an instant. Miko stood paralyzed and was lost for words. Thankfully, Hana helped cheer her up, and Miko started manhandling her. Later on, they grabbed a bite and went to the market to meet a strange Esper lady. Couldn't tell whether she was a witch or a scammer. Miko asked her for some prayer beads, and upon wearing them, they shattered in an instant, leaving the granny in awe. She was also able to see ghosts and noticed the evil aura around her. The granny went to the back and opened a safe to unlock a powerful artifact in her collection. Upon wearing the glowing prayer beads, Miko had hope, but the ghosts were too much for Granny to handle. How unfortunate for Miko. The following day, Miko seemed like she was experiencing an orgy in her dreams, until her idiot brother woke her up. This guy is unbearable. Even Miko was upset. Later that day, she went to the store and found another annoying ghost who must have been a math geek in their previous life. Soon after, she went back home, and boy was her mother hot. Miko was watching a horror movie with her annoying brother, and seemed fed up about the whole incident. Upon seeing a hottie on the screen, she got up and left to grab a soda. However, a coin fell, and she witnessed a tiny ghost who was smaller than a Taiwanese rodent. She tried following it, but met its hideous grandpa lurking in the shadows. Wrong move, Miko dear, wrong move. She ignored the creepy grandpa, sulking over her, and tried taking her coin, when all of a sudden, a crow snatched the coin and rescued her from the embarrassment. Her brother was pissed about not receiving his drink, and the following day, he decided to stalk Miko. He received bad advice from his friend at school, telling him Miko was hitched to a possessive boyfriend. He couldn't help but protect Miko from her problems. Later on, our beautiful maiden stripped down and entered the shower as graceful as a dove during spring. While she was in the bath, casually chilling, another ghost tried to sneak a peek and stared her down like a weirdo who was dumped at prom. Miko started trembling, and the weirdo refused to leave her. Fortunately, her annoying brother barged in and was asked to take a bath together. Now this is completely peculiar. The following day, our heroine got up as usual and saw her family terrorized by a nasty-looking demon and her deceased father. No one seemed to notice this aberration, and they all ganged up on her, leaving her flustered. Before she left, she took some pudding and placed it on top of his dad's memorial grave. Her dad was at peace and the ghost vanished. Elsewhere, we saw Yuria begging to be the granny's apprentice. Doesn't she realize that this is a scam? After receiving a prayer bead, she seems pretty excited and walks off narrating her life as if she was the MC of the show. She tells us how she started seeing ghosts at a young age and her high aspirations of being the greatest magician in the world. I feel sorry for her already. Soon after, the old lady closed up shop and Yuria was upset about the whole ordeal. She suddenly hid after seeing Miko and Hana, and realized that Miko was able to see ghosts as well. The following day, everyone was in the gym, and Yuria approached Miko and took her inside the equipment room. She closed the door behind her as if she was a serial assassin, and started interrogating her about the ghosts. She planted shiny bottle caps to attract the little fellas, and tried goading Miko to confess. Even so, our beautiful maiden was well versed in acting a fool and insisted she couldn't see anything. Meanwhile, a gigantic ghost was lurking behind her, and Yuria was completely oblivious to it. Left with no choice, Miko had to take decisive measures upon seeing how the prayer beads shattered. She remembered a wrestling move and decided to put Yuria in a rear naked choke. Soon after, our clueless protagonist wannabe woke up and met the actual MC of the show. Miko apologized and left the room. However, Yuria took it as a threat and felt terrified. Later that night, Miko saw a ghost, but it turned out to be an old lady. She carried her back home and met another ghost who was actually her deceased husband. He muttered some words, and Miko wrote it down. Soon after, the old lady used the code to open a safe and turned into her prime. What an unexpected surprise. The following day, the two gluttony enthusiasts grab a bite, and Miko runs into the scariest looking ghost she's ever seen. This time, we are shown Hana get ready for school, and boy does she have an appetite. You can't get busty without a healthy diet after all. As she's walking to school, the demented ghost starts following her around and devouring ghosts near her. She sees a boy crying and goes inside a haunted building looking for his dog. Are you sure this is the same person who was scared to open her locker? She saves the dog and heads to Miko, who insists on going to a shrine. They are in need of desperate cleansing. After handing a couple of offerings and praying intensely, a heavenly ghost appears and combats the demon, but she's not enough, and her master appears and crushes the demon before swallowing it whole. What kind of demented episode is this? Two ghost girls appear, and the scary-looking monster evokes a blessing on her before vanishing. I bet you didn't see that coming. We are then shown a glimpse of Yuria showering, and while she's adorable, she doesn't even hold a candle to our maiden Miko. Later on, the busty bubbling bee can't help but show off her new camera, an instant camera meant to capture their special moments. However, Miko can see the ghosts through the pictures, and Yuria interrupts their wholesome moment to propose a beautiful scenery to take pictures. Miss Double D's ends up choking her out of excitement. Later on, they take a bus and start hiking up a cliff. They suddenly reach a scary-looking tunnel, and Yuria insists the beautiful view is on the other side. All the while, Yuria wanted to test Miko's exorcism skills, since she believes she's better than the witch granny. Hana is gullible enough to buy into Yuria's lies, and insists on taking a picture of Miko. All the while, our girl feels extremely disturbed, and even more so after seeing a horrendous monster. Without realizing it, she ended up destroying one of the ghosts using the blessing given to her by the Shrine Master. Yuria tries to reciprocate, but is unable to even exorcise a single demon while Miko destroys the whole bunch in one fell swoop. As soon as one of the launches at her, the two shrine ghosts appeared, and Venkush hit it with a single push. I'm starting to wonder if I'm watching the female version of Mob Psycho. We are then taken to a cloth store, where Miko and her brother wanted to get their mom a gift. Before purchasing any clothes, Miko wanted to try it out to make sure it fits. As she went in and started stripping down for the second time in the show, her brother kept annoying her usual, and a female ghost kept complimenting her. They finally barged in and rescued her from the misery. Since Miko decided to get the dress, they tried looking for another gift. While heading back home in the train, Miko met the Walmart version of Jack the Ripper, who seemed to be fantasizing about killing people. He kept on slashing them left and right to vent out his frustration, and Miko sat there paralyzed in fear. Soon enough, he hacked through this lady and found a ghost lurking inside her. He snatched it out and placed it in the bag. He must be a collector of sorts. Fortunately for Miko, the doors opened and the Reaper left her be. As soon as the next stop appeared, they got down and walked. Meanwhile, their mother was grieving her husband at his memorial. The following day, Hana and Miko kept complimenting their teacher, who was about to give birth. Hana was super supportive about the whole incident, but Miko started seeing a strange-looking ghost latching onto her belly. Its color and texture was different from all the other ghosts, and Miko tried to advise her to take care. The teacher then told them about the infant she lost a few years back, and planned to take good care of this one. While walking back home, Miko felt lost in this gigantic new world she never knew existed. She started questioning her reality and why she was chosen to see ghosts. She wanted to help them somehow, but their existence alone was repulsive to her. The next day, Mommy Milkers kept complaining non-stop, and suddenly, a new teacher walked in. It was the demonic guy, Zen, from before, oozing intense bloodlust like a spawn of Satan. The ladies in the room try to flirt with him, while Hana keeps on munching on her snacks. Her hunger has gone to another level, since she keeps eating every hour. I understand she needs to keep fit, but at this rate, she might even get obese. Meanwhile, Miko was scrolling on her phone when she saw the most diabolical-looking ghost. The new guy had her on edge. She even went to the bathroom and hid like she was airing in 13 Reasons Why. After seeing another ghost inside, her desire to take a dump vanished, and she walked out, only to run into Yuria. They met up with Hana, who was still stuffing her face. Is she actually hungry, or worried about her figure? The diabolical ghost appeared behind her and brought her to tears. Later on, they went to a house of horrors for some unknown reason, and Hana was still in need of more food. I guess this is a training exercise for them to get acquainted with ghosts. Miko wasn't bothered by all the creepy threats, but Hana and Yuria were holding on to dear life. If only Hana went with a man, he would have certainly struck gold. As they went deeper, Hana was acting to leave, and scary goons kept on appearing out of nowhere. In what seemed like a cheesy horror flick, Miko tried acting like the damsel in distress and started screaming from the top of her lungs. They managed to outrun all the threats and successfully make it out alive. They were given donuts as a prize, but Miko got a lot more out of that experience. The following day, we are shown an old lady giving Zen some meals, and it seems that crows were surrounding his place. They must have been attracted to the ominous aura. You can tell this guy is pure evil. Back at school, it was PE class, and I couldn't wait to see Hana's jiggling bazooka. Unfortunately, Miko decided to walk after seeing a running ghost. Later on, the horrendous monster was stalking every girl in class and seemed to be attached to Zen. Soon after, Zen asked Miko to read, and the ghost started glaring at her with wicked eyes. Fortunately, Hana's belly started growling, and Miko insisted on taking her to the nurse's office. What a fortunate coincidence. Miko was extremely glad, and Yuria came by to ask how they were doing. Are these three besties all of a sudden? Hana gobbled up the candies and turned into a spiritual guru, oozing positive aura. Miko stood up upon hearing spiritual aura and wanted to know more about the situation. However, she ended up scaring Yuria, who ran out in a hurry. Later that day, they went to grab some sandwiches and Hana was on a hot streak. Miko didn't feel like eating, since all the ghosts ruined her appetite. She also assumed Hana's energy was being drained by the horrendous monster that appeared in their lives. As she was waving to a kid, he turned into a ghost and started attacking Miko. However, the two shrine protectors came to her rescue and started battling the demon. What's with the ghosts and being noticed? She gave her a warning, and Miko realized that she only had 3 attempts to summon them, and 2 were already used. In a flashback, we see Zen's mother scolding him for missing 2 points, and turns out to be a toxic parent. No wonder he grew up disturbed. He went to the park, looking agitated, and found a cat. We are then flashed back to the present, where Hana is munching delightfully, and Miko couldn't help but stare at the demon child. Later on, Hana bid her farewell, and Miko started stalking the next Beelzebub. The ghosts around him were terrifying, and the horrendous monster was also surrounding him. Our girl hesitated, but decided to follow him and find proof of his devious nature. She followed him to a narrow alley where he was about to capture an innocent-looking kitten. She freaked out and screamed, catching him off guard. The kitten ran into her arms and Miko tried to escape, but fell like every girl in a horror movie. Zen caught up and asked her to hand over the kitten. Just then, the kitty ran onto the street and Zen pulled a Superman to save it. In the flashback, we see how Zen took care of the cat he found in the park and lied to his mum about it. He kept on looking after it behind his mum's back. However, when he came from school the other day, his mum had gotten rid of it. How cruel. In the present, he was in the hospital and found out that the horrendous monster was actually the ghost of his mother. After hearing his story and his friend's side of his history, she decided to save him. As such, she went back to him and confronted his demonic monster. She antagonized her and ran away into the hall where the 2 shrine protectors came to her aid. Now that was the 3rd and last. I sure hope Zen was worth it. After defeating her completely, the shrine protectors mumbled something and vanished into thin air. Hana and Yuria came to visit their teacher, and Zen couldn't help but stare at those enormous planets. After squabbling a bit, they wished him good luck and left him be. Later on, Hana was still talking about food, while Yuria apologized to Miko about yesterday's incident. After Zen was all recovered, he came by and took back the cat. Everyone went back to school like nothing happened, and Miko had flashbacks of the shrine. As a result, she went there later on with an offering to her protectors. The 2 girls and their master showed up looking menacing as usual. I can't tell if they're friends or foes at this point. Their master transformed into a hideous-looking monster, and they started closing in on her with various ghosts popping up. What's going on here? Fortunately for Miko, she woke up from the nightmare with her obsessive brother spying on her. This guy sure is weird. Miko left for school, ignoring the ghosts, and met up with her lovely friend. Well, that's the end of this creepy anime. If you want more amazing recaps like this, let us know in the comments, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for future updates.